Hello Internet, I'm the Catholic Bartender, and today we're celebrating the feast of the Ascension of our Lord into heaven. Now, the Ascension of our Lord is a holy day of obligation, so hopefully you've been to Mass already. If you haven't, you should do that before watching this video. Then you can celebrate with a drink afterwards. You know, Jesus takes priority. Now, maybe you're in an area where the holy day was moved to a Sunday. You should still go to Mass on Thursday. Now, the Ascension takes place 40 days after Easter. That's because Jesus, after he rose from the dead, he was here on earth for 40 days, and then he ascended into heaven, right? So this is supposed to be the day, since Easter is the day that Jesus rose from the dead, the Ascension is the day that Jesus ascended into heaven. Hence the name. Now, but like, why do we celebrate it? You know, there's a lot of Bible stories that are told, like why this one in particular. Well, it's because there's actually a lot of like deep implications that come with this holiday that's not really thought about, right? You know, for instance, we as Christians, we tend to have this idea that we're like souls trapped in this body, and the goal is to, once we die, is to escape our bodies, and then our souls go to heaven on their own. But the fact that Jesus ascended with his body kind of shows that that's actually not the case. You know, we're mind and body together. So that leads to some crazy implications. Number one, not just about who we are. Number two, not just about what heaven is, but also number three, about what the cross was. Because it wasn't just Jesus' spirit, you know, lived, but his body died and his spirit escaped his body. No. They were intertwined. So like his spirit had to die on the cross too. So it's a mystery. It really, you know, and it really sells, or not sells, but it kind of fully brings together the mystery of the cross. That's why we celebrate it today. Alright, so let's get started with the cocktail. Now, what we're going to do for our base is we're going to do 1.5 ounces of vodka. I am using Greygoose vodka. Now, if you do bartending, you know that the goal of vodka is actually to just be flavorless. So if you have a preferred vodka that does better, obviously you can use that. But historically in medieval Europe, birds were used to symbolize the Ascension. Like a bird soaring through the air represents our Lord rising in the air into heaven. So I thought it was thematic to go with Greygoose vodka for today's drink. You're going to go with 1.5 parts that. Now the second thing you're going to go with is you're going to go with orange juice. I just got some store-bought orange juice. If you have homemade orange juice or you have a particular brand you can use, whatever you like. The only exception to that is Sunny D. And the reason for that is because Sunny D is absolutely disgusting. So I would not want to burden anyone with that. So you're going to do 2 parts orange juice. Now after the orange juice, you're going to do 0.75 or 3/4 part simple syrup. Now the reason why, I use a 1:1 ratio for simple syrup. You could use a 2:1 ratio if you want it to be more sugary. I personally don't like to do that. Number one, because if I'm making the drink and I realize I want it to be more sugary, I can always add more. But number two, I don't like the sugar to completely dominate the drink. So I like a 1:1 ratio. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up a lime, and then we're going to add about 7 or 3/4 part lime juice into our drink. Okay, so this is my first time using this lemon squeezer, and it's not as good as I was hoping, as I got maybe 1/8 of the lemon juice and the rest of it just kind of squirted everywhere else. Alright, so we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Try and get out the rest of the juices by squeezing. Alright, so now that I've made a mess and have thoroughly gotten my hand and my lemon all over the countertop, which is great. We can add that to our drink. Alright, and then the last thing we're going to add is 1 egg white. Now, eggs are really expensive, and typically I don't use an actual egg for egg whites. So if you're not comfortable using I will for this video to be a little more authentic. But if you want something that's not quite an egg, what you can do is you could use something like this. This is Fee Foam. It's a non-egg supplement. Number one, I'm pretty sure it's vegan if you're one of those people. But also what it'll do is it'll still give the same foamy like texture that an egg white will, but instead it just comes in a bottle, so it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot more consistent. You don't have to, use an egg in order to use it. But for tonight, we will use an egg. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your mixture in your strainer. You're then going to add ice. All right. And you are going to shake, but you are going to shake 40 times, one for each day that our Lord was on this earth before he ascended. All right, then you're going to take a coupe glass, as such. Now, then you're going to double strain. So if you have a cobbler shaker like I do, I think the top strainer is fine. If you don't, you can get a, like one of the more traditional strainers, but get a finer mesh as well, and then just pour over the drink as such. Then what you'll do to finish the drink is you will take your preferred club soda and you will top off your glass with it. Now, if you want to, what you can do, I personally don't think that this cocktail really needs a garnish. I think it's fine as is. But if you're going above and beyond and you really feel like you do need a garnish, what you could do is you could cut up an orange and do like an orange slice or an orange wheel or an orange twist. For today, I'm just going to do an orange slice. And there you have it. The Divine Departure. Ooh, I'm spilling my drink. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's very orangey, as you would imagine, given the orange juice being kind of like the main mixture aside from obviously the vodka. But also the egg very silkens it out quite a bit. So, oh man. Now, one thing you may have noticed when I first made this drink, the egg white was a lot more apparent. Usually when you use egg white, the top of the drink is a lot foamier and whiter. So that represents kind of like the clouds of heaven. And then the bubbles from the club soda rising up represents our Lord rising up into the heavens. So it's a reminder of, the feast day that we're celebrating. So, man, I'm not going to lie. I made quite a mess. I've never made such a mess making a drink. Maybe it's my nerves making my first YouTube video coming out. Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you around.